Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hope that y'all are all doing well. Sorry for the slight delay. For whatever reason, like, I guess my computer updated and some of the stuff I have to consistently redo every time I try to open up a stream. It's really annoying. Um, so I have a slightly different setup than typical, but I also have some noise cancellation for the microphone. I might need to looks like it's peaking out a lot, so I'm gonna turn my microphone down just a bit. Um, so yeah, just tell me if the audio is kind of strange or anything like that, and I'll figure it out. All right, but let's go ahead and get started. Um, so on the menu for today, I'm gonna do 15 gestures, um, and then I'm gonna do probably 10 or so hands, and we'll wrap up. So, uh, all right. Everything else is set, so let's go. Hope that y'all are all, oops, hope that y'all are all doing well. Hope that you're getting your drawing in as well. All right. One thing I want to try to do with my arms is for the shoulders. I want to try to start getting in that more arrow shape that points towards um, the hand, the top of the hand and everything. The reason for that is because then I don't have much to do as far as arm anatomy, because once you get that arrow shape in, it's just kind of filling in the gaps afterwards. Um, if y'all, as always, any questions that you have or anything of that nature, please feel free to put them in the chat. I will get to them. I might finish up what I'm drawing first, but I will get to it. What's up, young wavy? Yep, always grinding. How you doing? Nice. That's good. Have you I did check. I can't even remember the name of it at this point. But I did check out the publisher that you sent to me. Have you sent anything over to them yet? Alright, let me pause this for a second. Once I finish this chapter, I haven't finished a chapter in a year, so I want to get this done first, and I have a roadmap of first couple of arcs. The end of this month I plan to. I've been doing a lot of research as well on the industry and my plans for the next 5 to 10 years. That's good. That sounds good to me. I'm like, I think that for me, what I'm planning on doing is I think I'm just gonna make like a I'm just gonna be making a webcomic, because that's like my passion project, and I don't want to keep like, I don't really care that it's gonna get probably rejected by people. So I'm just gonna put that out as like a webcomic on Voice Me, and as I'm doing that, I plan on consistently working on my character designs and stuff like that, and reaching out to different like game developer companies. I think like the dream would be to do character design, like character concept art, and then just do my own my own manga like as a web comic. I've already started to get everything together for it. I have like a lot of I'm doing a redesign of one of my characters, but a lot of the characters I have pretty well planned out. I've been writing for a really long time. But the good news though is that I have gotten contact from 2 different like independent gaming industry people somewhat recently. I'm just waiting because I want to be able to, one, comfortably do what they're asking me to do. 2, I want to learn more about 3D art. I'm going to start doing that probably next week. And then 3, I want to just make sure that whatever I apply to, I'll be making enough money that I can transition out of the current job I'm at. So that's kind of my plan. I'm getting close. I'm sure it'll probably take me another year or 2, but I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, growth for my channel has been a little slow, but at some point, I mean, even if it doesn't just like explode, like I feel like YouTube is really about like making a all social media really, but it's about making that one piece that will allow for you to, or that one like video or piece of content that just like kind of explodes, and then you can kind of go from there. And I haven't quite done that yet. I have a couple videos that are around like the 20K range, but you need to have that one that like gets you like in the 70s, 80s, 100s, and then you're good to go. But I'm not too worried about it. I honestly like doing this. I like connecting with people, and I like showing my journey too, because art's hard, and I don't think people really understand how much of a struggle it really is. Do you work during the summer? I do, Locke. My job is year round. I would like to eventually, maybe, if like, working in a gaming company isn't in my like near future, I'll probably transition from the current job that I'm at to doing like a school-based job, so I have my summers where I can just really do a bunch of art and work on projects and maybe apply to other places and stuff like that. But yeah. Locke, how you been? It's been a little bit. I appreciate both of y'all hopping on the channel. And yes, you are right, Young Wavy. You've been supporting me for a really long time, and I do appreciate it very much. I appreciate all of y'all. I love all of my peeps. I'm tired too. Oops. Nope. Get out of the habit. It's gonna be wrap around this way. All right. Short break for me. What do you? I don't know what you do. What do you do? I have no idea. I don't think I've ever asked you that. If y'all want to see, this is what we have so far. The one thing that I need to like learn to do as like with my manga is like these figure drawings are good enough for me just to start building on top of and not worry so much. You just draw. Cool. Like you don't have like a another job or anything. That's pretty cool. Oh, interesting. Teacher, hospital worker. That's really cool. All right. A a beekeeper? Are you like pulling my leg with that one? That's pretty wild. If that's true, that's a pretty wild job, man. Oh, geez. That's, I'm sorry to hear that. I was talking way too much as I was trying to do this one. This came out really sloppy. Too many lines. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you ended up being okay. Oh, I really like this pose. What I'm actually gonna do as well is just to get the practice in. After I finish this set of five, I'm gonna actually do five from imagination. Give me one second. What are your thoughts on the French manga market? They've been really establishing themselves as a competitor. Not quite there yet, but closer than here in the West. To be honest with you, like I haven't, I don't even really have too much information. It's not something I've researched, Young Wavy. I think like, I think for me, it feels like a more doable and two, a more sustainable job for me to do the gaming industry. I really love drawing characters and finding like different ways to like put things together like that. Um, so I don't think that like just doing manga art is gonna be like doing manga or like web comics or anything like that. I don't think that that's gonna be my like art path. I love it. It's definitely like my passion, but I don't see that being my path, if that makes sense. Especially like I don't know, have you seen what Monitor Comics has posted about like Saturday AM? Like that was like really concerning, like reading through some of that stuff, and I'm sure that's, Saturday AM's a pretty, it's like one of those medium-sized ones that you would hope has like a really like decent like staff group, but that did not seem, I know that you have experience with him, so maybe your experience is much different than his, but that was really concerning to read all that. And I know the same is true of like, for instance, like Blizzard. I know that they had like that huge like scandal of like people being discriminated against and all kinds of stuff, but the yeah, the I think the chances of like, because I'm getting ready to be 30 next year, so like, and I just got married. Like I need to have, like, if I'm gonna pursue art, I need to have something that's like really stable, income wise. Manga, like, even if you're like a great manga artist, like it's not necessarily a stable income because they can like suppose you get a deal somewhere. This is, what is going on with this leg? That's why I can't talk and do this at the same time. But suppose you get a deal somewhere and they really like your stuff, but you have a few bad like chapters or volumes or whatever come out, and like I'm like struggling today. I need to stop talking so much. Let me pause this and I'll finish my thought and then I'll keep going. But yeah, you have a few bad weeks or like I guess a few bad months really, and your popularity plummets and you get booted. What are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna try to find commissions. You're gonna come up with a totally new idea. That stuff takes time. Like, I'm gonna, you know, 2-3 years time, I'm gonna be starting to have a family and stuff like that. And like I said, if this is something that I'm gonna pursue as like my actual career, I know in game development, like Mark Brunet, for instance, who's my mentor, dude making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year creating characters. I don't know how much manga artists typically make, but it's not gonna like like be. I don't think it would be something that is that high consistently, and I would need that if I'm gonna have a family. So that's why my very long-winded explanation of why I don't really know too much about like the manga industry, because I've not fully invested into that idea as a career path, at least for right now. And obviously, if the opportunity presented itself, great, but art creation is still very similar depending on if you're just a concept artist. Look, it is. I would say that comic art. I personally think that comic art would lend itself to you being a better, more than likely, you being a better animator, because of how much you have to draw. But a lot of times, like comic art and manga art, character designs are actually like uh, comic designs. I think are a lot of the times, especially if you compare them to like the the character designs of game studios, they are not quite as well crafted and definitely not as detail oriented, because you're not going to create a extremely high detail character like you would for a game, for a manga or a comic, because now you have to draw that very high detailed character 1,000 plus times over the course of, and do it consistently over the course of, a month, couple of weeks, whatever. So typically you see like the difference in the two designs, and one design is, I wouldn't say it's weaker, but it doesn't have as much to it because you just can't, you wouldn't be able to consistently maintain it. Like for instance, Goku's design as a character is like one of the most, popular anime manga characters ever, right? His design's pretty bland. Ichigo, pretty bland. Even like My Hero Academia characters, which is obviously super duper like popular now in comparison to video game characters. I mean, I would say My Hero is a little bit higher up, but still kind of bland. Versus like, yeah, like, and also for concept art, like your main objective isn't an illustration anymore. It's literally just the design. So like you don't worry about um you worry about clarity and not like the action, right? Like you would never do this pose I'm doing right now. You would never do it for a like concept art. If you're an illustrator, yeah, of course. But also I do agree with you still. Like I'm not disagreeing with you because that's part of the reason why at this point I really want to start. One is because it's an idea that I've had for years and I need to just do it instead of like trying to wait for somebody to publish it, where maybe they will, maybe they won't. And even if they do, is it uh, is it going to be a situation where they try to like not steal, but they try to have claim to my work that I've done for years? Um, you know, uh, is it going to be a good job environment for me or what have you? I don't know. Uh, but if I do it on my own independently, it's mine. Don't have to worry about it anymore. But anyways, what I was trying to get to is that if I do that, if I start my comic or my manga, then it'll help me get ready for what would be expected of me as far as like drawing every day for X amount of time, um, consistently with stress, right? Because you have a deadline. Um, so definitely that part is 100% the same. And it's like still comics and manga are also like, it's storytelling, being able to connect with an audience. That part is the same with game developers as well, because like if your art doesn't connect with the audience, or people don't don't connect with the character that you've did a concept for, then you're not doing your job. Sorry, I've seen all this stuff concerning. This is why I'm looking at a well-established comic publishers like Image Comics. They've been around for 30 years. Yeah, I think for me, like the really concerning part about all of that is you can't like I don't know, you can't have like from what Monitor was saying, and this is like the social worker part of me. You can't claim that you have a diverse manga um and have some of the concerns that were in that thread. Like you just can't. Like that's absurd. Like that's not a diverse manga at that point. You're just saying that in order to have people potentially try to jump on because of that, and it's just not. It's like taking advantage, in my opinion. And again, that's if all of that's true. Maybe it's not all true. Maybe I'm not saying that this is true either, but maybe Monitor Comics is like super upset or like really salty with whatever time they had with the company, and uh, it's you know he's just decided, or he's just decided I'm just gonna throw them under the bus or whatever. Um, but yeah, Locke, I'm gonna just point you to find Monitor Comics on YouTube, and he did a post for his like exchange, like he did like a Twitter he had like a Twitter thread that had all of like what went down while he was working, from his point of view, while he was working with Saturday AM for I don't know how long he was working for them for, like maybe a little over a year, I think. Um, all right, so I'm gonna try a few poses without reference. I'm not gonna time myself. I sometimes time myself, but I'm just going to attempt to be kind of quick. Um, okay. Keep looking. So like my drawings from like quote unquote imagination are always from memory. And I have not drawn this pose that frequently, so it's not coming out great. Um, I think I'm gonna start over again and try something else here. Same pose, but all right. So the perspective, I believe, is like this actually. So that should help a little bit. All right. Mm. You know what? My brain's not able to like remember this particular pose well, so I'll move on to another one. Let's do a squatting pose. Yeah, I mean, you have like your art is gonna do well because you have very like you have a very like distinguishable style that is also very in line with what people enjoy to see in comics and like manga. So I think you'll be fine. I don't draw that way. Like my drawing style is gonna end up being like I like to do drawing that's going to be closer to like a like 3D art almost. That's like the stuff I gravitate towards, and that's not really something that's super popular with manga art, which is why like that's why again I want to establish myself in a different field that's going to be helpful in actually here, let's do it this way. There we go. But you'll I think you'll be fine. Definitely I would tell you to definitely pursue. I don't know what's going on with my brain right now, but like I can't my I guess I'm just tired. Like I cannot get these poses the way that I want them right now. This is a little too big. He also needs to be pulled up this way. Like, what's going on with this leg? I think that his knee needs to be here, actually. And then we're going to get something like this. Alright, well, we shall move on. I could probably shrink his head, and that'll help a little bit too. There we go. All right, next. Let me think here. Let's do. Locke, he has a Instagram. I don't know if he has a portfolio. I'm sure he does, but he definitely has an Instagram. You should check it out. His art's incredible. Let's do. I think it might be the same name, Locke. I don't know it off the top of my head, but Young Wavy, I agree with you, and that's why like I just want to put my story out because it is super saturated, and sorry, let me think about. It's super saturated, and there's no guarantee that even if you do like get published that you're gonna blow up. So I don't personally, and again, I think for you it's different because I think that you'll succeed wherever you end up going. Oh, Young Wavy, I really don't mind. Like he's actually, yeah, I really don't mind. You can give him your info, or I'll give it to him. Locke, I can give it to you in Discord once I'm done streaming. Um, I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't like if people are just coming here and saying like, oh, like follow my YouTube channel because Mike sucks or something like that. Like obviously I would be a little bit salty about that, but I don't. You're a really big like good support for me. You have been, and two, I think that it would be great for other people to see your artwork. So, uh, but yeah, I think the saturation that you're talking about, and my like, because I can't sit and just draw all day. I really wish I could, but I have to do my other job in order to like be able to provide for myself and help my wife as well. Um, so like, I wish I could put more into drawing than I already am. But with that being said, I just don't like my big thing is my story is going to be to help children and people who dealt with the same kinds of things that I did growing up. And I don't need to have perfect art to tell that story, and I don't need for somebody else to validate me, meaning like a publisher to validate that in order for me to put the story out and feel good about it. And you know, some people will enjoy it, but even if I reach out to a few kids here and there that dealt with the same kinds of things, I think that's enough. Like that's the other part is like manga art for me is the vessel to tell my story so I can help people. Manga art doesn't have to be the thing that that sustains my life and my livelihood. Versus you want it to be your career, and because of that you put all your eggs into that basket, and I would support that. Like you definitely need to do that, or else you won't be happy doing anything else. I'm gonna be perfectly fine also doing the game developer job. Doing games and stuff has been something I've always wanted to do my whole life as well. Even when I was a little kid, I used to like, I had like this book that would like make these like fake codes for like combos and stuff because I loved like the Dragon Ball games as a kid. Budokai was huge when I was like a six years old or whatever. So that's something I've always been like pulled towards, and that's actually the thing that got me into drawing in the first place. I started off doing 3D art on Blender because I wanted to create a game, and then I obviously found out that's a lot more work than you could possibly imagine to do a game. So then I ended up doing this art to help me with the 3D models, and then I decided I wanted to tell a story, and then after that, now I'm going back to the games kind of, which is funny, but it's always been a passion of mine. Versus your passion is in the comics and the mangas. Let me think here. So let's do. like having trouble even thinking about poses to do right now. I'm so tired. Let's just do like a regular standing pose, 3/4 view, and try to put it in decent perspective. Yeah, there's a lot of people working on games, and it's gonna be hard for me to break into like AAA development. I'll say, because those people, like, their art's insane. Like, it's wild how good some of those people really are. Um, but you know, it's definitely like, I think that there's a like I said, there's a possibility in that industry to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you become like a senior concept artist for, like, you know, Riot or like Blizzard or any of those bigger companies. You can make a lot of money. But again, that's something that, one's still probably really far off for me. But two, sorry, I just want to finish this up. Um, all right. Get the shorter down. So what I'm doing is, I'm not gonna worry about how long it takes me to create my manga, like put my manga out. And I am actually doing characters with like a lot of details. So, like, right now I'm just working on a one shot just to kind of get my brain and body used to doing that consistent, like putting out content consistently again. Um, but what I'm doing, sorry, I'm like, brains all over the place today. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create characters, and then afterwards I'm doing like what I would call like a portfolio piece for each character, and I'm updating it each time. So like, the characters that I'll end up doing for my ongoing manga are going to be um pretty detailed. Like, and as I go, I'll probably give them like transformations and stuff, so I can redesign them in a fun way, and just keep consistently making them more and more detailed, and go into how, how, like, breaking down each part, probably doing 3D art along the way of those characters, because 3D artists are in high demand as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, I'm using my manga as the concept project. It's crazy how much the best art goes underrated to something not as good, but has better gameplay or story or lack of story. Just never know. Yep. I do have a portfolio. I have, my portfolio is currently on ArtStation. Um, and I just actually did one update, because I finished my cover for my manga that I'm gonna do. It's the one that I posted on Discord the other day. Um, but yeah, I have a portfolio. But yeah, I agree, MJ. Like, for artists, it would, I don't know how upset I would be if, like, I worked really hard to put concepts out and the game flops or something, and it's like a big AAA game. Like, that would be kind of heartbreaking, I feel. All right, so I did a boring pose. Let's think of, oh, this pose I think I can do. Watching just made me realize the next 50 years. What do you mean by that? Like, do I really want to be known and hired for drawing or storytelling? Like, how long do I really want to draw? Yeah, I mean, like being an artist is definitely one of those things that if you want to have a career in it, you need to love it. Like you need to really just enjoy putting pen to paper because there's going to be times in which like depending on what career you go into. Actually, I don't know. I think it's all careers for art to be honest with you, unless you're like just doing your own commissions and you've gotten that good where people are paying you tons of money to do commissions. Um including like companies and stuff. But um, what was I saying? You're gonna come across a time in which you're being forced to draw and you're tired. You don't really want to, and you know it's exhausting to do it. So if you don't love it, you're not gonna be happy. I mean, it's just like any other job, right? You have to have the heart to do it. All right. I like that one. That one came out pretty good. The thing that I like even more about this one than this one isn't necessarily that the pose is more dynamic, but I use less lines, and this is a simpler pose over here. Um, all right, let's get a couple more done. Yeah, let me try this pose. I really do love this one. Super dynamic pose. I don't know what artist did this pose. I wish I could give them credit for it. Actually, like I love drawing, but it was the first thing I could do in my world. I was like a superstar, but then digital came out, then AI. I never saw drawing as a job until going up against AI. I will say this, depending on what part, like what career path you want to take with drawing, um, AI art right now is there's no I wish I could remember everything that Mark Brunet put in his video, but there's like laws against like being able to utilize it, and also like in big companies, and also like anything that's been done by AI art, like by AI art wise, can't be copyrighted. So that means that big companies aren't going to use it because that means that anybody could steal it, make merchandise of it, and it would be legal. So. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, Sounds good, Young Wavy. Have fun studying the Blade trilogy movies. It's a good set of movies. The first one's one of my favorite movies ever, I think. I can't wait for the next Blade to come out. And yeah, I'll probably do another storytelling video at some point. Appreciate you dropping by. Creating story arcs and setting up arcs is what I'm currently studying. Nice. Good luck with that. I'm thinking about putting out like this, like a really like long, like 1 hour video on like manga creation, because I've been consistently filming myself as I do stuff for my manga that's going to be coming out soon. You might have like a really long video you can watch at some point. All right. I need to do a better job studying legs is what I need to do. So this one goes back in space. So it's like this, and it's also like here. And then this one is just like this, I believe. I think that they're closer together though. Like this one I can bring over a bit. And then all right, one more, and then we will do a few hands. Let's do let me do a let's do like a falling pose. How would you approach understanding multi-personality story arcs in one person? Like during dreams, they go into a parallel universe as a completely different person, and the twist is that they are a dream too. Interesting. I would, I think that the way that I would do it is, I would set up the story as if there's two different people, and yeah, or I guess, if I think my approach would be the same for all of it. Like if there was two or three or four people like within one, I would set it up as like there was literally like three or four different storylines, and each different part of the person's personality looks different in some way. Like for instance, I think like a pretty good example is, oh man, what's this dude's name? Um uh what was his name in JoJo's? I did a video on this guy. I can't remember his name. Give me 1 second. I need to figure out this person's name really fast. Jo- let's see here. I'm gonna be so mad when I see this person's name. Yes, man. Uh, so the Italian pronunciation of the name would be like uh Diavolo. So Diavolo. I think they just say Diavolo in the series, but so the main bad character of the main bad character of JoJo's Part 5 has like kind of like a split personality, and that's how they like, so like the person that's technically below them, so that like the main mob boss, the person that's technically below them is their alternative personality, and that person goes and does things for Diavolo throughout the series basically, and then it gets revealed that they're the same, right? You just kind of think that this person's like kind of like not stable, like you don't really understand why that is, and then it gets kind of revealed, and even like the physique of the character changes. So like that's what I mean, like you would make it almost two totally or three totally different characters, and then you would have their story converge at some point. That's how I would do it. All right, I can't remember what pose I was gonna do. You know what? Just because I was thinking of JoJo's, let's do like a JoJo's-esque pose here. Um, JoJo's always has this like feeling like the characters are just about to fall at any point in time. All right. So these are the five that I did without reference. They came out pretty decent. Um, this one I want to finish really fast. So this is like half referenced, half not. Thanks. Trying to gather inspiration and complete my series where basically a unicorn has dreams of a wolf that sometimes it's it and other times it's watching it, then break into two. It's a, I don't know if you meant a rat dream, but another dream maybe. That makes sense. That's pretty cool. Are there any other ones that weren't completed? I think everybody else got done. This is probably the best I've ever done that pose, by the way. That pose is, I don't know why, but it's really difficult for me. Oh, this is the one I was thinking of that wasn't finished. There we go. Now it's done. Um, I always am hard on myself as I'm drawing these, but these all look good. Funny enough, I think the standing pose is probably the worst one. Alright, so let's do some hands. I am not good enough to do hands without reference yet. I mean, what I do when I'm actually working on them in my work is I typically will try and then I'll look up the reference. I suggest that for anybody, like always try before you kind of just start pulling together references if you want to draw from imagination, just because that's the only way you can really practice it. So let's see, how long is this? Jeez. All right, I will do 10 hands. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I use Clip Studio. The thing that I use to scroll through the references is called gesture drawing. It's on Cube Brush. It's like $5. It's a phenomenal program. Whoever made this. I mean, I know that it's probably a pretty simple program to put together, but it's very good. And yeah, that's it. Those are the two programs I use. I like Clip Studio. Clip Studio's nice. It's affordable and it does basically everything that you would need it to do. It doesn't have quite the image manipulation qualities as Photoshop, of course, but for what I do, it's perfect, and you know, it is what it is. Don't really feel like paying a buttload of money for a program that isn't much different than one that I don't have to pay a buttload of money for. All right. All right, one hand down. I'm pretty happy with, I mean, it's not perfect, but I guess I have 40 seconds left. I can kind of, for game engineering, what would you be doing? Character design, environments, effect. Yeah, I don't think that there would be a job in which you do all of the things that you just kind of stated. Like, probably the closest thing would be like an indie developer or indie artist would do like 3D art, probably 2D art, some environment work, prop work. But I would like to do just character design for a bigger company. Or, I mean, depending on how much I like using, whatchamacallit, what am I getting ready to get soon? ZBrush. If I really like using that and I really enjoy 3D art, then I would do that too. That's not design, that's just creating the 3D mesh that ends up being used in games later. Like, that's what you walk around as and stuff. I just don't know yet because I haven't practiced it or like used the program. So I could be horrible at it, I don't know. But I'm gonna use it for my my comics and stuff, my manga art. You said you were contacted for work for a game company. Congrats. Thanks. I appreciate it. I think it was more of like one of those. I think it was like it wasn't necessarily them giving me a opportunity because they saw my like resume. I don't think it seemed like it was a person who just does recruiting for people they feel like they can train. Well, I guess maybe they did see my resume, but yeah, I appreciate it. I shouldn't undersell it. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry, when I asked, I always asked from a solo developer perspective. I don't know why. I only plan to do it all myself. That's a lot. That's a lot to do by yourself. Um, it's been broken down, the gaming industry. Sorry, give me 1 second. I want to pause. The gaming industry has been broken down the way that it has because it's just too much for one person to do with how advanced the games are nowadays with all the graphics and the mechanics and stuff. You could probably develop and create like a old school like Zelda or like Pokemon looking game. You could probably do that. It would take you a really long to probably take you like 5-10 years, but you could probably do it. Um, and then you said took a game design course but settled for audio industry at the film school. Oh, okay. That's cool. I think I'm caught up. Getting a lot of fists today. I feel like that was the case the other day too when I did this. It's been a long time since I've just straight up done the practice for hands, so I'm like kind of happy with whatever I get at this point. Meaning like whatever I draw, sorry, not like the fact that I'm just getting fists. I would rather not just get fists because fists are some of the easier things to do when it comes to hands since it's like basically just a rectangular prism. Granted, I still struggle with them sometimes, but it's easy to fix. Alright, so one thing I see that I would like to change, oh no, is this. This could be pointed down a bit more. And then with that though, do I need to, I can probably extend the wrist from here down. Another fist, dang. I'm gonna get 5 straight fists before. That'd be insane. This one's a little bit more difficult actually, because it's like slightly open. Oops. Alright, Locke. I appreciate you jumping on, man. It's good seeing you, or talking to you, I should say. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good luck with your commissions. Yeah. Good luck. Hopefully it starts to feel a little easier for you. Alright. So this can be pushed over a bit more. And then here. And get a little bit of the hand there. Six. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of characters in one piece. Jeez. Look at a lot of splash art references, is all I can tell you. It's alright. Ah, here we go. I got an open hand finally. Alright, let's get the whatchamacallit down here. Here to here. Here-ish. Alright. So let's go with ovals here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then the secondary ovals. 1, 2, 3, and I don't know why this curve is so sharp. 4. There. Yep. Hopefully I will have an answer. There. 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 And last but not least, the thumb. Ew. What was that? Oh, what's up, Rudy? Been a while since I've seen you on a stream, bud. How you doing? I appreciate it, Rudy. Bruh, look how much better my gestures have gotten too. Since like, I don't know, I think you probably were on a stream like maybe 7-ish months ago. Gestures are fire. The ones on the circle, those are all from my imagination too. The main man, Rudy. Yeah, I also don't know when I stream either. Um, Typically it's a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I'll do it around 7:30 is when I start, and then uh, depending on um, sorry, give me one second. I'm trying to draw this hand and talk at the same time, and that never works out well. Come on. Yeah, depending on like how many people are like commenting. Today's been a lot of commenting, so like I'll end up being on between like an hour to 2 hours, depending. So, do you think it's possible to use 3D creatives for book comic or comic book purposes? Be used later for games, videos, movies. Uh, Hate the idea of 3D. My 2D characters. Um, so what you could do is like, I mean, what could potentially happen, I think, is that you use 3D to help your 2D art out in areas where it might be difficult. Like for me, what I'm going to end up using it for is I'm going to use 3D art to create my environments so that I don't have to consistently try to re-remember and redraw all of my environments over and over again. I can just use the 3D model as a reference and put it at whatever camera angle I want. Um, I might use it for heads and stuff too, like make busts of my characters, just so I can rotate them however I need to and be able to draw it accurately. What could potentially happen is if your comic or your manga gets really, really popular, those 3D meshes could be used as the foundation for something later on down the road, I would assume. Like, oh, we want to make a video game of your manga or your comic. And you kind of can just hand that stuff over and be like, here you go. Here's what I've already been working on. That's what I would say. How likely is that? Probably not very likely, because people who are professionals at 3D art are going to have better meshes than what you can create. But I guess anything's possible. Also, thanks, Rudy. I appreciate it. I haven't put in a lot of work. I'm excited for my next manga to come out. I've been working hard on that too. It's the one I've been writing for years. Um, so I'm just gonna start posting it, man, and see how it does. Rudy, you still been doing your Yeah, I agree, Rudy. I highly doubt like that they would actually use your model. They would end up creating it, like recreating it more than likely. But Rudy, have you been doing your whatchamacallit stuff? D&D stuff? Pinky. Pinky here. That hand came out pretty good. Man, a lot of fists today. I need to like relook at what my images are and maybe that's alright. I hear you, Rudy. I mean, that's also why I'm about to start my mangas because I just like because if I don't just start, I'm just gonna sit there and tinker with it and try to perfect it for so long, and it's just like it's never gonna be perfect. So, am I ever gonna actually get it done? Probably not. So, I might as well just try. What's the worst case scenario? Is I put it out there, I don't get a lot of viewers, but I'm still doing something that is really meaningful to me. So, all right, so here, probably here, there. This one's a little wonky looking, but oh, it's this part here. Sometimes you just have to do it. Yes, you do, because if you don't, you never will. And you know, the other thing too is that you don't get better at comic art by just practicing art. You get better at comic art by doing comics. So, yeah. That's also what I've been telling myself, and it's true. Like, oh, Rudy, I'll show you this page that I did. Give me 1 second. So my like mentor, he's created this like world. Let me see if I can find it on here. This like world, and I did a just one page based off of like the characters and stuff that he created. Had a lot of fun. The dialogue sucks, but I wasn't too worried about that. I wanted to send it off to him before everything ended. But yeah, this is definitely the best page I've ever created. I was very proud of it. Had a lot of fun doing it too. Well, I guess I better double down on what's in that's drawing with shadows, realistic, and story writing, build, and let somebody 3D. Yep, that's what I would do. Right, back to hands. Just got a few more. Nice relaxed hand. Probably in here. Actually, it's probably here. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I worked really hard on that. Environments are still 1,000% my weak point. Like, I have so much work to do with environment. That's why I'm going to use 3D to help me with it, because if I don't, there's just no way. It would take me, because that environment alone probably took me like 3 days to like draw. I know that sounds absurd, but it wasn't like 3 like 8-hour days or anything like that, but it took me like 3 days to get done or more. Uh, um, let's see here. It's just like I can't take 3 days to draw environments if I'm trying to do like ongoing series, you know? Like I have to, unfortunately, I would have to make sure that I'm putting out content at least a reasonable pace. So that's the only reason why I said that. So it's gonna take me like 3 or 4 days probably to do it via 3D modeling, but after that, it'll be much easier for me to maintain. This hand sucks. It's talking too much. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with that hand, but that's okay. We'll just move on to the next. Sorry, let me get to this other comment really fast. How do you categorize comics? Like, where do you place them compared to cinematic motion pictures? Because it has a lot of scenery feel to it. Mm, I'm not 100% sure exactly what you mean, MJ. But I would agree with your statement. Like, one of the things that I ended up doing at one point, which I probably should go back to, is I actually studied a lot of film. And specifically like studying what camera angles and what colors are being used um, in order to convey like specific moods, because that's something that's difficult to think about um, when you're not used to being like basically a director, which is what a manga artist is in a lot of ways. So I don't know if that's what you meant, but Rudy, have you do you watch JoJo's, or have you like read JoJo's Bizarre Adventures yet? I feel like you would enjoy it. I feel like that's like right up your alley. Maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but um all right. So it's like this oval, 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 oval. All right. Ew, what am I doing? Let's just forget about that. Let's just do. All right. Let me read this. I meant with comics, I have had a lot of interest in, but I'm not a figure drawing artist yet. I'm a reference artist, and with story, I see mentally the picture a lot, and that's what I end up drawing. Um, yeah, it's like the issue with like manga and like comic art is if you really want to be really good, you have to be like really really good at a lot of different things, because you got to learn how to do environments, you got to learn how to draw characters, you have to learn how to do character design that's at least decent, you have to know how to write stories, you have to um you know, you have to know how to do sequential art, which is different than regular art. You got to understand panel shape. You have to understand how the font that you choose impacts the mood of your story. There's a lot to manga. But yeah, it's hard. Like there's a lot there, and like yeah, like the part with drawing that's difficult too is that if you don't have the technical skill to convey the story, then your imagination will run wild, and that's a good thing, right? You're super creative, but with your imagination running wild, it almost becomes impossible for you to draw something that consistently represents what you are trying to convey. And that part's really hard. You've seen some of JoJo's. We haven't read any. I usually read over watch anime because of the time. Yeah, I have almost all of part 5 on my shelf over there. I'm waiting to get a few more. We need a font video. I'm not an expert on font yet, so I would not be able to do that myself, but I agree. It's funny to me because people don't put thought into their font and they just do whatever. And I'm like, no. Yeah, think about it a little bit at least. Yeah, man, that's really expensive. I tried to watch Berserk. I did not like. I was not getting into it, which is really sad. I'll have to give it another shot though, because I know it's good. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I really did not give it a chance to be honest with you. Finally finished with the hands. All right. Yeah, this hand's definitely by far the worst one over here. This one sucks. The rest are not bad. This is my favorite one. I always like that pose. But I think all of them came out pretty good besides the one I circled. Um, and then figure drawings came out good. Ready for them to have faces and stuff. It's dark. Yes, it is. And I will enjoy it once I actually give it a shot. But my thing too is that I'm doing so much stuff with like my job and then this stuff that it's just like, do I really want to try to start a series right now? I don't know. All right, everybody. I'm gonna wrap up for tonight. I'm gonna go play some Zelda with my wife. um, I appreciate Rudy. I appreciate you hopping on, man. At some point, we gotta do like another Zoom or something, man. It's been what since Jake's wedding, right? Yeah. Were you at his wedding? Yeah. No. Were you? Why am I not remembering that? I know that you were at the bachelor party. No, you weren't at the wedding, right? But anyways, we gotta connect sometime, man. Good night. MJ, appreciate you hanging out and asking a bunch of questions. But yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. I'll probably stream again either, you know, what, Wednesday or Thursday of next week, I would assume. Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't remember seeing Rudy there. It's a shame. I want you to meet my wife at some point. I know you haven't gotten a chance yet. But all right, sounds good, Rudy. All right, everybody. I'll see y'all on the next one. Have a good night. MJ, MJ, I will do a course, just not on fonts. I'm gonna do a course on figure drawing, like I did today. Coming soon. All right. Peace out, everybody.